reviewing A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski.
So we just got back from the movies, and this movie was pretty good. I thought, maybe we should talk about it, to share it with other people who maybe haven't heard about it or are curious but not really willing to go to the movies yet. So A Quiet Place, it's about a family, and as they try to survive in this new world, as they're hunted by these pretty weird monsters.
If you watch Stranger Things, and you kind of know how they look like, because if you watch Stranger Things, there's these animals or these creatures called Demogorgons, and they kind of look like that. That's what they kind of. That's what I think they look like. Honestly, the animals. Anyway, they're also blind and they have supersonic hearing, and that's why it's titled A Quiet Place, because in order for them to survive, they have to be very quiet. That's why you'll talk about that later. But what else? They have razor sharp teeth and like claws, which is like that, and they're really fast, like insanely fast. How do I explain this? Their arms are like longer than their legs, kind of. Like if they're standing on their feet, their arms or their hands or whatever are touching the floor, which is kind of scary. Pretty right freaky, there. Yeah. They can. What else? Oh yeah, they run on all fours and they like jump. Oh, I don't know. The reason when I was like during the movie and I was watching it, I was just like all freaked out because I have like a terrible fear of spiders. So like when I was just watching that, it just reminded me a lot of a spider. I don't know why. Just there.
What I liked about the monsters is we're not too sure what they are. We're not sure if they're genetically engineered. We're not sure if they're aliens. There was a part where they showed like a little glimpse of a newspaper that said, a meteor or a comet, I forget exactly the wording, had struck Mexico. So we're not sure if that's how they came. But yeah, they're blind. They hunt by sound, and they're really, really, really strong. These things bust through trees. Whatever's in front of them, they'll run through it to get to whatever's making the sound.
Yeah.
So this family, they're surviving. I mean, the best way they know how. There's not really a lot of contact with the outside world. There's no, radio communication. There's nothing on the television. So what they do in order to like make runs to go get some supplies, some food, some medicine. Everywhere they go, they have these trails of, it's like a white sand, and it's like barely big enough for the feet, to walk on, just to mute the sound. They're also walking barefoot everywhere they go, which to me is...
I think it's kind of dangerous, but I mean, then again, they have the sand, they have the sand, like, on the floor, that's like, they can step on something, and I don't know just insects and stuff.
The main character, I mean, I know him as Jim from The Office. What he does is I guess he has this logbook where every day he goes on the radio and he puts out this SOS on the Morse code, which is another thing that came from The Office when him and Pam learned Morse code. But he's sending out this SOS signal and he's marking off all the radio frequencies that he's using until he finds someone. But yeah, I mean, they're just a family that they stay quiet with everything they do. When they eat, their dishes are made out of...
lettuce.
Was it lettuce leaves?
Lettuce leaves.
Lettuce leaves. She cooks in this pot that's like underground. It's kind of like, if you're to pit something under the earth.
It's like boiling or something.
Yeah. So they've pretty much adjusted everything they do.
Another thing, sorry to cut you off, was when the kids were playing Monopoly, and remember how instead of having the like little action figures that were like, what are they, plastic?
Yeah, they didn't have the top hat or the little car.
It was, what was it, like fabric?
Yeah, they had like little fabric things that they could like glide.
Yeah, that's another thing. I can't, like, how do they do that? Like, I don't know. That must take so much, just adjusting to not having sound. Like, just, I don't know. I can't even imagine having to do that, honestly.
So this movie, it kicks off, and it just says day 89. So it's 89 days after, I guess, the monsters were unleashed. And That's pretty much all we get. We get no really real backstory. This is really the only family we're focused on, so we don't know if there's other families in the cities. So we're really not sure what caused this, you know. But all we know is really 89 days in, this is what's happening.
So one thing that's kind of cool is that, or it's different because you don't really see this in movies, is that they didn't tell you the names of the characters. The family just really consists of a mother, a father, and a daughter, and 3 sons. Well, 2, one kind of got cut off in the beginning. But the father, who's played by John Krasinski, how do I say this? He really knows how to survive. Like, you know, because he did all this and he like made all this stuff. You know, like, I don't know how to say this. I'm like getting off track.
He's like a tech savvy guy. If there's something that needs to be implemented in order to survive, he'll either build it or he'll find a way to use it.
Improvise it or something to make it, you know, quiet. You know, he's just a father that's protecting his family, especially in a world like this. The mother, who was played by Emily Blunt, she, in the first scene, which was like, what day, 87? Like, you know how...
89.
89, something like that. She's not pregnant. Because I know in the trailers, it shows her, like, you know, giving birth to a baby, and they show that later in the movie. But, when they first show, like, her, she's not pregnant, and they show her what? She's giving medicine to her son, huh?
Yeah.
So she's taking care of her family, you know, same thing as the father. And then, like, more into later in the movie, how to say this? Like, you see that she's pregnant. Like, they have, like, you know, like, how do I say this? Like, they show you that she's pregnant.
Alright. So, yeah, she's pregnant in this world that has monsters that hunt by sound. It's pretty hard
for sure
for that, you know, to be in that situation where you're gonna give birth. The process of giving birth is not quiet, and I mean, what do babies do naturally when they're hungry, when they're tired, when they're, you know, anything, they cry. So what I thought was pretty cool is how they prepared for that. You see the nursery room that they're kind of preparing for the, you know, for the birth. They have everything soundproof. They have the crib. To me, it kind of reminded me of like a Yeti cooler. It's got really thick walls. They even have this top, and they feed oxygen through this little face mask inside, so they can place the baby in there when it does cry. Just cover it, and hopefully it mutes the sound enough where it doesn't attract the monsters. They also go about putting newspapers, layers and layers of newspaper on the walls, just to kind of soundproof it. So I thought that was pretty cool how they prepared for that.
A character that I found really interesting was the daughter. She, in a world where you can't make no sound, she can't hear any sound. She's deaf. And I don't know, I just found that really interesting because, I mean, she already knows the feeling of like not hearing anything and stuff, but I mean, I think it's kind of a bad thing because she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on, and she doesn't know if there's any like predators nearby, or if she just, like, I don't know. I feel like that'd be a disadvantage because you don't hear anything. Like, you don't hear if there's someone coming behind you, or I don't know, things like that. I think that's kind of,
yeah. Even though these monsters are big and they're knocking trees down, like, she still can't hear it.
Yeah, that's kind of,
it's a disadvantage. Now, as far as the feeling that I got watching this movie, I want to say that, you know, John did a really good job with how he set up the sound. The sound, the lack of sound was awesome in this movie. It kind of felt like you were in this world where you could, you know, the smallest little sounds that happen in the theater, they were loud.
Yeah.
Because you were so used to being quiet along with the family that when, you know, the person next to you is unwrapping a snack or something. No, not you. I'm talking about like everyone. You people, you know, in the row in front of you.
Oh,
you
yeah,
kind of
that's
want to look at him and be like, "Hey, shut the fuck up,"
bad.
because the monsters are gonna come.
For real.
But yeah, any little sound, even me, like when I was trying to get a drink of my soda,
You can like.
I
Hear
was
the
super
ice.
quiet. I was trying to be as quiet
Oh,
as
I know, me
possible
too. Dude,
because I did not want to make sound.
for real. Like when I, so like in the movie theater we just went to, like the seats like recline back and stuff, but
Yeah.
like they make noise. And I remember I was just thinking to myself, and I was just like, I'm not gonna move the seat, because when you move the seat, it makes noise, and you like hear it move, and that's kind of.
Yeah, the buttons when you press them to recline, it's just like a zzz,
Yeah, ooh,
and it's so loud during this movie.
Yes, and it's kind of like interrupting, but I mean, like, yeah, we're watching a movie that's like quiet over here, or like that one time we were in there and I tried to put like the popcorn on the side, and that was I didn't like that, cause like you were saying, like it's quiet, you want to be quiet, and like, cause that's just how the movie is, you know.
I also think that they did a really good job with the characters, because even though they weren't talking much, you still felt like you got to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sign language. And I think even more that because they weren't able to talk much, just the facial expressions that they would make to each other, like you could tell, like this father cares for, you know, his wife so much. You can feel the love he had for her.
Yeah.
For the kids, you could feel when they were upset, when they were angry. So that's what I liked. I really think they did an awesome job with the sound, and just the emotions I felt with this movie were pretty awesome.
You look at the trailers and you think it's like a really scary movie, right? Like you see, like, I remember one of the trailers, you see like a monster behind her, and you just see them like running and stuff like that, and you think it's this movie, but it's more just like jump scares, you know? But like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm trying to say that it's more of like the emotion that's, because you get attached to these characters, like how you were just saying.
And I think because of that when someone does slip up and make a loud sound, you're on the edge of your seat.
Oh my gosh, I jumped
because
like 7 times.
You know that the monsters are going to show up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know, and when they do, it's just so loud. I really like the little clicking sounds that the monsters make.
Oh.
And what I think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they're little like sonar taps. You know, just a little taps, and then that's when they open their ears. They got these crazy holes on the side of their head that, you know, when they open them, their hearing just goes crazy up, where they can hear the tiniest little ticks. And what they do is they tap, and I think the sound wave to come back, or the sound wave to move from where it originally is bouncing from, and they kind of think that something's there. But yeah, these monsters, they really did a good job hiding them, because at first they would just kind of fly through the screen where you couldn't really see what they are. Mm-hmm. But then later on, you know, there were some good still shots of these monsters that you could see what they look like, and kind of get an idea of what they're dealing with.
Yeah. I didn't like it. It's because it was like, to me, it looked like a big spider on the screen. I'm sorry. I see like I see just like long legs and stuff, and I just think it was spider.
So overall, this movie was really, really good. I didn't really have anything I didn't like about it. I think out of a 10, I would probably rate it a 9.
I rate this movie a 9.5 out of 10. The main big reason is because you don't really see a movie where it's quiet. Like, the characters aren't really talking that much, and you really just see the characters' emotions, and I thought that was really cool. I really did.
So, yeah, for sure, go catch A Quiet Place, showing in theaters right now. I think this is a movie that you need to experience at the movie theater. The sound quality is going to be a lot better than just watching it on a TV with a sound bar. It's not going to be as intense, I think. So I definitely recommend you go watch this. Mm-hmm. Well, we hope you liked this review on A Quiet Place, directed by
John Krasinski.
Jim. Mm-hmm. And just give us a like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on everything. You can find me by typing in FAK911 or Michelle at.
If you want to follow me on Instagram, my username is Michelle_A_Torres. That's all it is. Alright, well, thanks for watching.